So welcome to another Fest interview. We continue our series of runs of conversations with different film professionals to discuss their perspectives and how they've been affected by this current epidemic. Today we have Martin Samper. He's one of the most interesting Spanish producers right now. He has produced films such as The Long Way Home or Anna by Day. So he's quite an interesting person to understand exactly how Spain has been affected and how the Spanish industry has been affected by this. Spain is obviously one of the countries most affected by the current epidemic. So welcome, Martin. Thank you very much for giving us some time. Were you working when this started? And if yes, how was the production immediately affected?
I think I was quite lucky because I had no production this year. So I was more working in two movies. One which is a dark comedy called 7 Reasons to Run Away from Society, that started just 1 year ago in world premiere in South by Southwest, and after during we had a big tour on festival in 2019. So obviously the festivals I had since March till today and in the next month were postponed or directly abandoned. Obviously it's difficult for a movie because especially in art house movie, as festivals are so important for the visibility of the movies. But it's not such a big problem as if I had like many colleagues of mine were about to start a shooting or directly during a shooting when it came out in March. The second movie is a Mexican movie, and the movie was about to finish in post-production, so not a problem of shooting and nothing like that, but we really wanted to start the big world premiere with the festival this year. And it has been totally stopped because of Cannes, and also because we don't have the biggest problem right now is that we don't have much visibility of what will happen with Toronto, Venice, and Sebastian. We were in touch with Cannes, with Carlo Vivari, with Locarno, and all of them has been Cannes for the moment, maybe postponed, but we don't know exactly. And yeah, the next one we are trying to speak with are Toronto, Venice, and Sebastian. For the moment, they are working as would be a normal festival, but I think no one knows really.
That's actually an interesting point because obviously, especially independent productions and art house films are so dependent on these big premieres. Is there anything you can do to try and clarify this situation?
No, really, we are talking. We are with our sales agent, which is a German computer film. We are talking with all the festivals every week, and obviously, I understand it's totally normal. We as producer and the festivals have to keep working, but nobody knows what will happen. I imagine also as Cannes didn't happen this year. Apart from if Venice can go or Toronto, the fact that Cannes, which is the biggest festival in the world, so driving all the year of the other festivals. For example, in San Sebastian there is the Perlas section. We are the best movie of Berlin and Cannes. So what will they do this year? I don't know with no Cannes. And obviously for us it's difficult to understand that there will be certainly a big number of movies trying to go to Venice, to Toronto, to San Sebastian that maybe would have been in Cannes. So we don't know. We try yet to start to get in touch with the festivals of autumn and winter, because we don't know when things will start again, really. So.
And have you at any point, considering this indefinition on the festival front, have you considered releasing the film in an alternative format?
Not for the moment, because it's really the 7 Reasons. The first movie I talked about, they had all the big part of festival was last year. We released in Spain, we released in some countries like Russia. We We are on VOD and DVD in Spain. We released in theater, obviously, 1 year ago. So we were more at the end of the process. But the biggest problem is for the Mexican movie, because we really are starting the process, because I think it's a movie that really needs the support of the big festival to start with, because it's an art house movie. It's a black and white movie, beautiful black and white, but with no festival launching that kind of movie, I think it's too difficult, because platform right now has been increasing, I don't know, like 20-30% of content. So for a movie like that, I think it wouldn't be a good idea.
Unfortunately, Spain has been one of the most affected countries. How do you think the local industry is going to be affected by this current situation?
Obviously, the industry will be very affected, because, Spain was trying to recover from the crisis of 2008. So Spain, the big problems since many years, because of the VAT tax that was 21%, like many years ago. I think the industry will be hit a lot. I'm in touch with festivals, I'm in touch with the distributor, I'm in touch with other producer, and obviously I've just read an article before starting the interview with you, and they were saying, because normally in Spain we are 4 phases, of this confinement, and the first big phase should be on Monday, next Monday, but big cities are Barcelona and Madrid won't be suddenly on the first phase. And it's a big problem and in the next weeks, certainly, they are speaking of reopening theaters, but only with a 30% of audience, which is a big problem for distributors and for exhibitors. Second part of the problem, if they only open part of the country, but not Barcelona and Madrid, which are like more or less 50% of the box office of all Spain, with 2 cities. Obviously, big distributors and major are also problem, but I think it's maybe a little not so complicated. I don't know, but and they are starting, for example, maybe was raining, maybe the first big movie should be at the end of July with the Nolan movie. So end of July.
Obviously, as a producer, you also work directly with investors, and not just private investors, but film funds. Do you have any idea of how they're going to react to this? Will this make it harder for an independent film to get financed in the near future?
Yeah, I think everybody is it's like the world really has stopped. So everyone is also, because one of the main things that we learned within those 2 months is the total lack of visibility for everyone. We also have to see what the government will do with the grants. It's all moving every week, every day. Maybe I don't know in your country, but I see they are doing in France. Yesterday they announced measures, or in Spain, but we don't know apart from that when they will start. It's very difficult to work on that.
But do you think that in any way the situation will contribute to different types of films being made?
I don't know. It's also obviously a reflection as producers and creators we had in the last years, because the way platforms like Netflix, Amazon has been increasing in the production part also is important. So I don't know for the moment. I hope personally this big stop of the world will be a moment for people to share more experience than before. I hope so. But so I think it's a moment of sharing problems and sharing solutions. But I don't have the answer for the moment.
Of course, nobody does, unfortunately. Do you think that the audience itself will be interested in a different kind of stories or different kind of narratives? Do you think that their interest will shift?
Yeah, obviously, I think the audience also has changed in the last 10 years because of the growing of platforms, of the growing of series, for example, of all the arrival of smartphones, and like I think that the young audience, the last like 20 years old, not only because of coronavirus, but they were changing. They were changing in the last year. So I think the fact that of coronavirus, it will accelerate, as I saw before, the change. I think we will have to adapt in part, not the way of producing, but maybe to try to understand better what audience are looking for. As I said before, I consider myself as an art house producer. So I'm not sure I will change for the moment the things I want to produce, because it's part of me. But it's sure, when you see young audiences, they're saying right now, I think the time of attention of young audience are 6 or 7 minutes. Obviously, to do a certain tango of 7 hours of Bellatar, I'm not very optimistic for that kind of movie. I think we have to be aware of that changes and trying to do the best, maintaining the difference, because I think big movies are important in the entertaining way, but also art house as a space of reflection are interesting. But we have to know how that can be combined.
Obviously, a lot of people within the film sector work as freelancers, and they are dependent of productions being run in order to make money. How desperate do you think the current situation is for a lot of film professionals in Spain right now?
Yeah, I think it's very, very difficult, especially for crew that only works on shootings, because the shootings have been stopped, and I don't know when they will start again in wind conditions. And people that were more in post-production, because I know also people that had a movie and post-production they had worked, so it has been less difficult for them. Obviously, for the actors and for the cast, I think 80 or like 90% of the actors in Spain, apart from the big stars, are suffering a lot in a normal life of shooting, and it has been very difficult because many actors also combine movies and advertising. So yeah, I think that it has been very difficult for all the part of the industry.
Obviously, it's difficult for everyone to kind of maintain their optimism and a sense of normalcy. How have you managed to do that, or have you managed to do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have managed. I'm not sure. I have also the luck to have a second part of my work. A big part of my work is having classes. So I managed to give that classes online. I have to reinvent myself. First of all, because I'm not a big technological fan, so I had to learn technically. But in that case, I more or less have maintained that part of classes that is for me very important, and in my time and also in my economy. So obviously the mental part is more difficult to maintain and to have the activity also, because if I compare in my case of last year with 7 Reasons to Run Away, I went to 26 festivals, like one festival every 2 weeks during the year, which is totally crazy. The lack of travel, not seeing anyone, it has been and it is difficult, but we have to keep moving on.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for your time, Martin, and I hope things get back to normal as fast as possible. And thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.